Hi, I'm Christian.
And I'm Angela, and we are married
And bored.
Hey guys, welcome.
Hi.
Welcome to episode 5.
We've got a special one for you today.
Yeah, we are super excited. I say that all the time, super excited.
Christian's always super excited.
Yeah, but I'm extra excited for this one.
Yes. Why is that, Christian?
Well, it's the most wonderful time of the year.
And?
No, I mean a Star Wars movie is coming out this month.
Oh, okay. So because a Star Wars movie is coming out.
Yeah, we couldn't say that last year, which is a bummer, but happy that there's a new movie coming out.
So we are happy to bring you a Star Wars themed episode.
Yeah, we thought it would be fun to talk about Star Wars because everyone's talking about Star Wars. There are so many games to choose from, and we just wanted to talk about some of our favorites.
Before we jump into that and hop on the Star Wars bandwagon.
Oh, yeah. Ange, what's up with you?
What's up with me? Okay. Well, Christian already mentioned that it's the most wonderful time of the year for Star Wars, but what I thought he was talking about is the holiday season coming up.
Yeah, there is that.
So, as we get into the holiday season, there's a lot of parties or get-togethers, and at these parties and get-togethers, we found ourselves playing party games.
Yeah, people like to play games, which is great.
Maybe not always the games that we're talking about on this podcast.
No.
But some sort of game to get the party moving.
Yeah, or to fill the space.
So I've just wanted to share a few things I've noticed about myself as I play these party games.
This is kind of like the marriage portion of our podcast.
No.
Just right at the beginning.
Well, I didn't mean for it to be that. I was just thinking about how we've played a few games, like some of them are like packaged games, the game Monikers.
Yeah, we like that one.
Some of them are more just like kind of made up party games that it's like a Christmas card boulder dash.
Yeah, I'm really good at that one.
We did a little Christmas, like name that Christmas movie quote, name that Christmas song at your office holiday party.
Yeah, that was a good one too.
So we've just been playing these games, and you know what? I just noticed that when Christian and I play a game, we're going in with the foundation of a certain level of competitiveness.
You mean like when we play at home, when it's just us?
Yes. So I know Christian's going to take it seriously. I find myself at these holiday parties just really frustrated that people don't take it seriously. Or I just need to find a switch to like lighten up.
Yeah. I don't know what that would be.
No, because for me it's either like I'm all in on this game.
Yeah.
And I don't understand why there's drunk people not paying attention. Like, quiet down. Let me explain the rules.
Yeah. But you're not running these games half the time.
No, but if I could. Like, everybody pay attention.
That's the goal whenever we play a group game, is somehow you make your way to the front to teach everybody.
That's my goal. If you don't know me by now, I mean, I like to read the rules. So,
and you like to follow the rules. And so
like
when
to
people
follow the
don't
rules.
follow the rules or aren't paying attention or ask questions that have been already answered,
I don't have tolerance
you
for
get
it.
frustrated.
Oh.
In any setting.
Yes.
Children, husbands,
Oh.
Christmas parties.
I like to think I have grace for you, but, you know, I'm just realizing these maybe not so great characteristics about myself. I don't think I'm fun to play party games with.
I think you have a good time, and I think other people find it funny and entertaining that you take it so seriously. You may not know that and experience that in the moment.
So you're saying people are laughing at me?
Yeah, or with.
Yeah. But I'm not laughing.
No.
So. Oh.
They're just like, oh man, she is in it to win it.
She's going.
And
Well, yeah, I don't know what it is, but I just wanted to share that, even though it's maybe not a very good part of my personality.
Yeah, I think it's good because like we've not been playing a lot of games recently, like
Not our type of game.
because of the holidays and everything that happens this time of year. There's, like we mentioned, there's parties that we go to and get-togethers that that we just do at this time of year. So our normal board game playing has definitely been down the past few weeks.
Yes.
But so we have been playing these games, and so
maybe I've been in withdrawals.
It could be.
I'm trying to have a normal board game experience like I would have with you, but I'm inserting it on the game Taboo or something.
You said the name on the card.
Yeah, I get very competitive. All right, well, enough about me.
Yeah.
That's my confession. Even though it's not our feedback question for later, can somebody just please say that they support
Yeah, or they're the same way.
Or that they're the same way.
And if you think she's absolutely crazy, then you could probably tell us that too, and we'd be okay with that.
That's fine. I will have Christian read those emails.
Yeah, I'm not saying that right now, just so you know.
Okay, good. Christian has a lot of what's up this week, I think. I can see it in his eyes. There's going to be more than one.
Yeah,
over.
You're saying that right now, and I'm drawing a blank on like half of them.
I bet it's Star Wars themed.
Yeah, it is Star Wars themed, I think. But I will back up a couple weeks. I went on a work trip to Las Vegas.
Yes.
Because Vegas and work, they go hand in hand, right?
There was a lot of work being done.
There was a lot of work being done. I went to an Amazon AWS conference, which was awesome. I learned a lot, and my head exploded like 6 times just from the amount
Not from alcohol.
No, from the amount of information that was consumed. But one cool thing that they had, every night they had an event that you could sign up and go to, and they had a board game night for all of the conference, which is like, I want to say 30,000 people were there. And so it was like Wednesday night, we went to one of the halls there and played some board games. It was very popular. Now, I didn't go to like everything that was offered that night, but they were turning people away.
Wow.
To this board game night because they were at capacity, and like the event crew was very concerned about like capacity. Like
for the room?
Yeah, if the fire marshal comes, then we'll get in trouble. And so if the capacity said 101, like there had to be 101 people in there.
So these are my kind of party people.
Yeah, you'd love running one of these. Yeah.
Carry on.
But it was really cool. I waited in line for maybe an hour, and I was, fairly close to the front, and there was a lot of people behind me. So I wasn't sure how they were going to do it. I'll just explain that really fast. They had a whole table of brand new unopened games, and you had to put in, and you had to give them, your like attendee badge, which gets you into everything else during the week to check out a game.
Oh.
And so a lot of people were rushing to get their favorite games. One of the most popular ones that night was Terraforming Mars. They had 2 tables of that being ran.
Which we've never played.
It always seems fun. I don't know if it's worth it to us right now to get that one, but we'd like to play it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, like most games.
Yeah, we'd like to play most games.
So I went in and I just found a table with a guy who already had a game, and I'd never played it, and I played 7 Wonders.
And?
It was pretty fun. Awesome. Yeah, he wasn't, if he's listening, good job, but he wasn't the best at explaining how to play.
Okay.
It was a very loud room. There was probably 13 tables of like board games going on. Some of them were so big that they had like 2 games going on at the same table. And I know 7 Wonders had been out for a while, but we played that. That was super fun to learn. I can see why it's as popular as it is, and it's stayed around this long. Mm-hmm. It's pretty fun. I'd give that one another go. I don't think I would want to rush out to buy it, but it was fun. Played that twice, and then we played Tsuro.
Tsuro.
I think that's how you say it.
Yeah. Which starts with a T if you're looking for it. Tsuro.
Yeah, which we actually own or owned. I'm not sure if we have it anymore.
No, maybe we do.
Yeah. Either way, I played that one, and that one's fine for like 2 games, and then you get kind of tired of it. And if you've played that one, you know what I mean. There's not much to it. You just put your little dragon token on the line, and you trace it. And if you fall off the board, you're done.
Yeah, so it's a good one for like you've got 4 or 5 members of the family sitting around the table, and you're waiting to have enough room in your stomach for dessert.
Yeah,
So between dinner and dessert, what can we play? Oh, let's play Tsuro.
that's a good way to put it. And I had never played it with the maximum amount of people, which I think is 8.
Oh.
And so like people were out of that game
Right
in like
away.
4 turns. Like they
Yeah.
were done. So that made it a little more interesting, but I still don't really enjoy that game.
I don't love it either.
No.
I just feel like why not spend our time with something a little better?
Sure. And there are better like filler games.
Well, that's a
out there.
cool thing. Did anyone make off with a new game? Like they take it? Oh no, their badge was at
Yeah,
stake.
so I was kind of hoping that we'd go away with a new game, but they rightfully donated them to Boys and Girls Charity in the
that's
area.
good.
So that was cool. And then towards the end of the night, we played Tokaido, which I really enjoyed that. And that was one where I don't think I fully grasped the rules of what was going on. It was late and it'd been a long day, and so I was just moving my guy down the board. I didn't know what I was doing. And I was one of those guys who were like, "Oh, I'm on this space. So what does that do again?" And they'd always
That's
have to
okay.
remind me. And
We always have.
yeah,
We can't always be perfect. Is what I was trying to say.
no, that's true. So yeah, that was a couple weeks ago. So that's awesome. I had a really good time doing that. I was surprised at how many people showed up to do that. And like, I don't know a lot of people who are into games as much as we are, but like everybody who was there knew all the games on the board, like, or not had played them all, but they at least
We knew of Seven Wonders.
yeah, they were at
Even
least
though-
familiar. It's not like they came in looking for Clue and they're like, I don't know what Scythe is.
I thought this was categories in Yahtzee.
Yeah, definitely wasn't that. There was one group playing Cards Against Humanity, of course, which is funny just to like overhear, the Cards Against Humanity table, and you're just like, wait, what is going on? And then you realize, oh yeah, they're playing that game.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
That's
that was
fun.
That was really fun.
I think your second one was about Star Wars, but not games.
Games. Oh yes, because it is the most wonderful time of the year. My work is having a Star Wars event, and we are going to go see the movie, which is awesome. But I've been put in charge, or I've been asked to buy some giveaways for this event. So I have bought so many Star Wars items on Amazon in the past 10 days that like every day it's like, oh, this is cool. But I have to remind myself that I have to give all these away.
So every day, multiple packages arrive from
Yeah.
Amazon
Yes.
at our house. And I get to hear the kids get really excited. And then I have to tell our 6 and 4-year-old that, no, these are Star Wars toys. For us? No, for your daddy. These are for your daddy.
They're for their dad, for his coworkers.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's just been a fun little thing to literally just go on Amazon, and not the weirdest Star Wars stuff you could see, but like the ones that you don't think about. I would just bought them, and we're gonna give them away.
Do you want to say a favorite thing?
I'll spoil one thing right now.
Okay.
So if any of my coworkers are listening,
Okay, they're going to get a spoiler.
Millennium Falcon waffle maker.
Oh, that is terrific.
It's the gift that keeps on giving.
What more could you want Christmas morning?
Yeah,
than
maybe.
a Millennium Falcon.
Yeah. Darth Vader syrup, maybe.
I would go with it.
I don't think they have that, but
Well, I don't know what to say about that. I'm not in charge of making these Star Wars products.
yeah, so that's been fun. And obviously Star Wars has been on the brain, which is why we're doing this show. So let's jump into it.
Yes, hang on tight and we'll be back. It's time for the main segment.
Let's do it.
A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away.
That's right. Are we allowed to say that?
Is this a licensing thing?
I think we're okay.
All right. Well, Christian and Angela thought up this idea for a wonderful Star Wars themed episode. And the realm of Star Wars is so big in board games.
Mm-hmm.
So we knew we were going to have to do a little bit of paring down.
Yeah, we realized that like talking about a Star Wars game, or it's hard to just pick one and
That's true, too.
make that your flagship Star Wars show.
It's just too many to choose from to narrow it down to one.
Yeah, so we decided to do not one,
not two,
not two, but three. You gotta do three. Star Wars movies comes in threes.
It's a trilogy.
Yeah, so we're choosing our three favorite Star Wars games to talk about this episode. What's the first game, Ange?
We're going to be talking about Star Wars Destiny,
Star Wars Rebellion,
and Star Wars Outer Rim.
Yeah, and we're super excited to do that. Star Wars Destiny is what we're going to be talking about first.
Yep.
So why don't you explain a little bit of what Destiny is?
Okay, we've explained this on the podcast before, but I have not said what the game actually is.
Sure.
So let me give you maybe just 2 sentences here. Star Wars Destiny is a competitive CCG with dice, and in it, players are going to face off head-to-head to damage each other's characters and deplete each other's decks.
Yeah, I think that's a super simple couple sentences of what the core of Destiny is.
Mm-hmm.
I jumped into Destiny right away when it was announced, and I was super excited. Again, super excited to play this game, and we've played it a handful of times. So let's jump into quickly just our rundown of the game, the categories that we like to talk about, so that we can give listeners an idea if it's a game for them.
Yes. So we'll start with one of the first things that I loved about this game.
Sure.
It's easy to set up.
Yes.
We bought a core. Is that what they called a core pack?
We bought a starter set. We bought the 2 starter sets, and we've bought the newer starter sets.
Since then.
Yeah, they keep on updating all that stuff. So we started really early at the beginning, and we took a break, and then we jumped in recently in the last few months.
Yes. So you buy this starter set. You have all the dice you need.
Yeah.
And the dice are associated with characters or, weapons or upgrades or supports you can get. And so you have all the dice you need. You have a complete deck, which is 30 cards.
Yeah, in the starter sets, I think you actually have a little less. I think you have
25?
around 20 cards.
20? Okay.
So you can always add to it with the booster packs, but it's enough to play a game.
Yeah, and so you can just literally jump right in playing it. I think the setup is so minimal. I mean,
oh yeah. Once you have the cards you want to use, you literally just sit down, you get your dice, and you say go.
Yeah.
It's not that difficult to get going.
No.
But there is a little bit of an aspect of that, which we'll talk about later, I believe, that kind of throws a wrench into how easy it is to set up, right?
Well, we could talk about it now.
Yeah, you want to do that?
Yeah, so one thing that could make this go from easy to extremely hard in setup is if you incorporate the element of deck building.
Yeah, that's definitely a whole nother beast to tackle with this game.
Right, so as cards are being released, people are buying either packs hoping to get certain cards or seeking out specific cards and buying them from sellers or other people and trying to build the best 30 card deck that they can. And I don't know if research is too heavy of a word, but to research, I guess.
Well, yeah, I think there's different things. There's a lot of people who are called net deckers who have other people do the research, and they'll post a Star Wars Destiny deck online and then just copy it. So that's one thing. So
I do that.
Yeah, you're chasing the cards that someone else says is good.
Okay.
Or you're the person who made that list in the first place and has probably played hundreds and hundreds of games of Destiny to make sure that your deck is optimized for what you're trying to do.
Right. So if we're talking outside the starter pack of 20 cards and you want to get into deck building, this can easily become a very advanced setup if what you're including in your setup is trying to get the 30 perfect cards.
Right. There's like 300 plus cards per set.
Mm-hmm.
And when they do tournaments and stuff, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong because I'm not in on everything, but they usually have a rolling set of cards that are available to be used in tournaments.
Right.
And I think that includes 3 sets.
Okay.
It could be more.
So you can't go too far back.
You can't go to the originals cards anymore. I know that. There's a starting point now, which is like set 6 or something. So there's so many cards to look for. And if you're not buying individual cards, you have to buy booster boxes. And you don't know what's going to be in those. So you could get a lot of duplicates. And it has the potential to cost a lot of money and a lot of time to chase those down.
So that's maybe one caveat to saying it's easy to set up.
But if you are familiar with Magic the Gathering, that game is very similar in that you don't know what you're getting in the card pack, so you have to try and find what you need.
Okay. All right. So let's talk about the learning to play aspect of it. Sure. I thought it was really easy to learn how to play. It reminded me of Dice Masters.
Yeah, it's a little bit Dice Mastery in that like the dice dictate how much damage you do.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's more intuitive than Dice Masters. There's a lot of different sides and small numbers on Dice Masters.
That's true.
These dice are so big in Destiny that it's super easy to do. You just count your numbers up and you say, I'm hitting Ray for 6 points. And then it's easy to tell that.
I'd say it's accessible easily to learn how to play, especially if you're used to card games. Yeah. Or I should say just strategy card games. Yeah,
these competitive card games. If you played one, they all share similar aspects.
Yeah, we've got like, is your character exhausted? Mm-hmm. Or are they ready?
Yeah. And this one even is simpler. The cards you get a smaller deck, so there's only 30. And it's just you take a turn, I take a turn, you take a turn. There's no, at least right now, there's no way to like interrupt the turn you're taking. So it's just very back and forth. You react to you are reacting to your opponent.
Right.
Every turn.
So that's pretty easy.
Yeah. And then with the deck building, it's hard to master. Like there's just so much you could do to get better at this game. And I'm nowhere near good at this game, but I enjoy playing it.
Right. So when we say like, how easy is it to learn how to play? It's easy. I know how to play Star Wars Destiny. You put me in a tournament, I'm going to fail miserably.
Right.
Not because I don't know how to play, but because I just I haven't invested all this time and money into the perfect deck.
Yeah, and I don't think we will. That's not how we roll.
Okay. So then we talk about like how immersive is this experience. And what's interesting about this episode is all 3 games that we're going to be talking about are immersed in the same world.
Yeah, they're all obviously Star Wars games. Some of them pull you in and feel more like Star Wars than others.
So what do you think about this one? Does it pull you in and feel like Star Wars?
No, I don't think so. I think the only reason that I play this game is because it's Star Wars. If it were anything else, like if they were just fantasy wizards and dragons with dice, I don't think I would care that much. So like it's definitely pulling me in because of that, and like some of the characters' actions, feel like that character.
Okay. Yeah.
So I can't think of any examples, but like.
Well, like I mean, this probably isn't what you're alluding to, but I thought of Rey and her lightsaber. Like she has her lightsaber.
Yeah, and they all have like dice and cards that like pair well together, which is really cool when you can actually do that. And Luke, I think the old Luke would let you like re-roll a dice or have an extra card in your hand because he could use the Force to know the future. Like you can kind of, put that parallel together.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool. Darth Vader is always really strong. Like it's just the classic things like Han Solo. He's shifty. You can't always hit him because he's moving around and he hits hard back. So that I would call that immersive. Mm-hmm. But I don't feel like when I'm playing Destiny that I'm playing Star Wars.
Oh, okay. So you don't like you're not taken on a journey.
No, it's like I'm thinking back to our Marvel show when I was looking for that superhero moment in that game. It's rare to have like a Star Wars moment. Like it's not like, and then Rey jumped up and blocked these sabers and killed your Kylo Ren. Right. It's just like, well, I just rolled dice and I took 5 life away.
Right.
There's nothing like cinematic about the game.
So it's maybe like a medium, like a middle of the road. Like it's immersive enough to pull you in.
Oh yeah.
But it's not like we feel like we're in the Star Wars galaxy.
Yeah, I feel like immersive goes with like, are you going to talk about it the next day? Because like you were so into saving Kylo Ren that, or what, whatever that scenario is. This is probably like a 2 to 3 on a scale of 5, I'd say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And depending on what your opponent's playing, you could potentially have characters that wouldn't thematically make sense to battle against each other at all.
Yeah.
In the movies.
Yeah, which is really, that's one thing that I love about this game, is that you can just team up whoever you want.
Right.
And that's kind of fun to do.
And now you can team up Rey and Kylo, can't you?
Yeah, there's a special card that puts them together.
Okay.
Which is really fun. A lot of people at the World's Championship ran that. And
interesting.
Yeah, it's super fun. Like, I'm really interested in doing like Ewoks, and I haven't done it yet. And I know some of the cards are banned, but whatever, I'm playing at home. I think that's really fun. You can do like Luke Skywalker with like Jyn Erso, like just people who haven't met each other. As long as they're on the good guy team, you can pair them together and
so
and
now
see what
why
happens.
are these Ewok cards banned?
I think they were just a little bit too powerful and too overwhelming in a specific scenario.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Just like the Empire experienced at the end of Return of the Jedi, when all the Ewoks started fighting them with sticks and stuff. When you have armor on and someone's hitting you with a hammer.
Absolutely. Or if you remember from a few episodes ago, a pocket of rocks is one of the Ewok.
That's true.
Just kidding. It's not. All right. So then we want to talk about just like, is it fun?
Yeah, I think it's fun just to carry on the conversation of what I just mentioned, like pairing the random people together and having a battle with that. I think, to me, that's very fun to see your favorite characters team up and fight each other.
Yeah, I think this game is fun. I will say that, and I talk about this more in depth on our blog post about it on marriedandbored.com, but it loses fun for me when it's competitive. In this seems like a very direct competitive. So we talked about Wingspan last episode, and we talked about how that's soft competitive, which was a good word you used. Mm-hmm. This one just feels very
in your face.
In your face. He's directly dealing damage to me.
Like I'm personally hurting you by winning.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Or me to him, which I don't love it.
No.
It just leaves like a bad taste in my mouth.
We go in very, I don't know what the right word is, like big streaks with this game.
Yeah. Like
we won't play it for a long time.
Yeah.
We'll go hard at Star Wars Destiny for a month.
Yeah.
And then we'll take a break.
Yeah. So, and what I do like about it, and like when I get on the on cycle of Star Wars Destiny, is like that there's so much to choose from, and I like parts of the idea of like this mystery perfect deck out there for me that so I like trying to strategize in my mind, like what would that be. If you know this game at all, I really enjoy not hitting people. I enjoy winning by depleting their deck, which is called milling.
Mill them out of cards in their deck.
Yeah. So I like that aspect of it. That's what makes it fun to me. And now I know Christian has told me that people like me are not really well respected in the Star Wars Destiny community.
I don't think it's well respected. I just think people think that style of play is super annoying.
Oh, well, and I think it's annoying that you damage me to death.
Well, there you go.
So suck on that.
Yeah, you win some, and sometimes we lose some cards out of your deck by milling.
If that's what's gonna make it fun for me, I say
that's fine. Yeah,
whatever.
That's great. And then really quick, let's wrap up Destiny.
Okay, is it worth it?
For us, yeah, it's definitely been worth it. It's fun. It's fun to play this game every once in a while. And early on, I went to a couple tournaments at a store, did terribly, and yeah, it was fun.
But you weren't turned off by that experience?
No, it wasn't bad. I got some swag, some alt art cards or something, and I won like 2 out of 3.
Sure.
Yeah.
And I would say like it's probably not worth it for us, as we've mentioned before, just in a comment, that to invest in what the perfect 30 card deck and going to tournaments. We're just not we're not at that point yet. So when we say is it worth it, we're talking about just, getting a new pack of cards when they come out and
For us,
seeing what we get.
For us casually, it's definitely worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not in it to win it, the whole thing. We're not going to Minnesota and playing Worlds.
Yeah.
We're just having fun with the cards that we have. We're not trying to get all of them.
Right.
It'd be nice if we had them all, but...
And for what we do, it's cheap.
Yeah, it is pretty cheap. Well, cool. Star Wars Destiny.
That's a wrap on Star Wars Destiny.
Yeah, and... So, before we jump to the next game...
Uh-oh.
I wanted to throw a curveball at you again, which I know you love. Because
I love them.
This is not in the outline that we're both looking at.
No.
So I wanted to throw a couple Star Wars quote trivias at you. Or Star Wars trivia quotes.
Oh, so I have to...
I'm going to tell you a quote from Star Wars, and you tell me who said it.
Oh, fantastic,
I'm going to start off easy. Ready?
Okay.
Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're my only hope.
Well, I was going to say, you probably shouldn't say that you're going to start off easy, because then that puts a lot of pressure on me to get this, but I'm going to say Leia.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
See, that I did start easier. This one is a little bit more difficult, so let's see if you can pull this one out.
Okay.
That's no moon. It's a space station.
I feel like we jumped from easy to very hard. I was thinking maybe you could do like do or do not. There is no try, or whatever it is. I'm gonna go with Luke.
It's close. It's not Luke. It's Obi-Wan Kenobi.
All right. Well, thank you. Why is that close? Because they're both Jedi.
Well, they both were in the scene when he said it, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
There we go.
There you go.
Perfect.
So let's jump to...
Stay tuned for more random trivia where Angela fails miserably.
Yeah, you love it. So let's jump to probably the grandest game that we're talking about today.
I would call it an epic game.
Yeah, Star Wars Rebellion. So this is a competitive strategy board game for 2 to 4 players, where one or more players take on the role of the Imperials, or you can choose the Rebels, and the Imperial forces work to find and destroy the Rebel base. And the Rebels, you just try to stay alive as long as possible and complete certain objectives to help your cause.
Yes, what a great description. Okay, so this one is vastly different from Star Wars Destiny.
Yeah, this one is a whole nother I don't even know what the word is. I want to say beast again, but
it's a whole nother game entirely, and you're
Yeah.
going to see the difference in every single thing we talk about.
Yeah, all three of these games are very different.
And starting right off the bat with ease of setup and teardown, this differs extremely from Star Wars Destiny.
Star Wars Rebellion is such a big game. Angela said epic.
It's epic.
It's cinematic. There's so much going on. It has 2 boards, and and each board is just huge.
Mm-hmm.
And like on our old table, we used to not be able to fit it very nicely. I remember the board would butt up against the side of our table, and then it'd have to have all the pieces to the side. And
so now we play it on the big table, our formal dining table.
Like our dining table.
It's a big one, and it's got lots of pieces. So we're talking like you got miniatures.
Yeah, little tiny ships,
and also like troopers and rebel troopers and stormtroopers. You've got cards. So you have a deck, but you also have miniature cards when you that represent people you're recruiting for your team.
Yep.
You've got like character stands, so to represent your characters that you send out on missions in the galaxy.
Yep.
You have character stands that you're moving around. I mean, there's a lot of different pieces and a huge board. It takes a lot of time to set up, even when you know the rules.
Yeah, so I think we should say that we played this game about a week ago. Mm-hmm. And
well, not for the first time.
No, that's true. We played this game, and we can talk about this later, like once or twice a year.
Yeah.
And so we don't remember where everything goes right off the bat. So like we, having owned the game for 3 years or whatever,
mm-hmm.
we still had to look up where everything goes.
Yep.
Because there's so much going on.
So many things.
And like there's specific ships that need to go to specific planets to start, and you get this many of that ship, and I get this many of that, and it.
But then if you don't want to play by their exact rules, you can choose the advanced setup.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. So
this is a game where and the teardown is just as bad. I mean, you're gonna have to set aside quite a large amount of time, and that kind of transitions well into like how accessible is learning to play.
Yeah.
So this is hard to learn, as you would expect from what we've described.
Yeah.
It's very hard to learn. We call it a 2-night minimum.
Yeah, it's a very deep game.
You're gonna have to, especially when you're. I'm thinking of just opening the game.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna have to learn how to play one night. Maybe if you've got enough brain power left, and then you're gonna have to play through it the next time. And you're probably going to have to play through it the next time really close to when you learned it, because otherwise you'll forget.
There's no way you can remember the first couple times you're playing.
I'm going to say you better drink caffeine and not alcohol when you learn to play this game.
That's a good point.
Because your brain is going to need to think.
Yeah. There's so much going on with this game, and each side plays so differently. So I tend to play the Empire a lot when we play. I would say let's say we've played it 10 times. Mm-hmm. I probably played Empire 9 times.
Yeah, 8 or 9 for sure.
And so I feel like I have that side of the game down. Mm-hmm. I know what I do, and I know what I need to do to win. Mm-hmm. And then as the Rebel player, which you are more familiar with, you feel like you've got that down. Yeah. And if we were to switch, that would slow the whole process down again and put us back a couple days in learning how to play.
So we've thought about switching, but then it's like, then I have to like relearn a whole different side.
There's new actions I need to know, and there's new things to do, and it's. So
this is not your gateway game.
No.
You need some people that are willing to hunker down with a Red Bull or a Coke and really want to play this game.
Yeah, if you like Star Wars and you want to experience like Star Wars on a board game, this is definitely the game that you want to get.
Yeah, because I'm just going to jump right in. It's super immersive.
Yeah.
This game is like, it's like you're playing the movie. Mm-hmm. You feel like when I'll speak for myself, because I'm usually the Rebels. I think I've only been the Empire once.
Yep.
So I feel like I am the Rebels. I feel like the cinematic nature of things, and we do have the expansion, the Rise. Is it Rise of the Empire?
I don't know the exact name, but it's like based on Rogue One.
It's based on Rogue One, and it takes on that exact plot line.
Yep.
So I'm trying, as the Rebels, I've got a certain objective to try to destroy the Death Star.
Yeah, get the plans, destroy the Death Star.
Yep, and that is not how I win, but it earns me, by completing objectives, I lower the scale for when I get to win.
Yeah. Let's explain that really quick. Like the Empire, all I need to do is find the Rebel base.
Yeah, so I'm hidden. It's a big game of hide and seek.
Yeah, you secretly choose a planet that you put the base on. Mm-hmm. And I don't know what that is, but throughout the game I do probe droids like from Empire Strike Back, and I try to find what planet you're on. Mm-hmm. And then you chose that planet, and you try to do hit and run tactics to try to lower the round marker so that when your little Rebel marker hits the round marker, you've stayed alive long enough to end the game.
Yes.
Like basically you just want to stay alive before I find you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think there's very few things that beat the immersive experience here.
No, not in the games we have. I mean, Abomination from episode 2, super immersive.
Yep.
On a different scale, of course. This one is like, Abomination is like you're in it and it's gritty and it's just you're that person. But this one makes you feel like you are General Leia,
you're in
Organa,
the movie,
trying to get this rebellion off the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think, for all we've said about how hard it is to start up with like the setup and the accessible to play, for all that, like if you're willing to be have your brain work and sit down and learn this game and figure it out, you're going to get the reward of a truly immersive experience.
Yeah, it's definitely worth it in that sense.
Which this next part is kind of hard to answer 100% one way or the other. Is it fun?
Yeah.
So fun. I usually, people have this picture of like, everyone's chatty and like having a good time.
Yeah,
and
we're
everyone's
drinking wine and playing games.
Everyone's merry and smiling. I wouldn't say it's that type of fun. I would say it's rewarding.
Yeah, I think maybe with this game, we like blend is it worth it and is it fun kind of together, because the time you put into it to play this game makes it so much worth it, because you're playing that Star Wars, movie on a board game, which then makes it super fun. Because you can have, I think this game is really good at having those cinematic moments.
Yes.
Where it's like Darth Vader goes to this planet because the Rebel player put Luke Skywalker there. But
what I'm capture my people.
What I'm gonna do is I'm actually not gonna fight Luke Skywalker. I'm gonna bring Boba Fett in and capture Luke. And now because I captured Luke, the Rebel player can't use Luke, and they can go and rescue them, and
you can torture him in subsequent rounds to try to get information out of my Rebel forces.
Exactly. So it's really cool, and I can build the Death Star as a Imperial player. I can then blow up planets as the Imperial player, so that once I do, no one can go back to them, and there's no, like, they're just gone, and all the resources that you may have gained from that planet, they're out of the game.
Yeah. So I think it's fun because it's such a rich experience, maybe, but it is highly competitive, and we've had it for a number of years. But our recent experience into playing it that Christian just described, where it took us a little bit of time to remember the rules, we played over the course of 2 nights.
Yeah, there's no way that in our situation that we can play this in one night.
So we played it over the course of 2 nights. And so you think about just investing 2 nights worth of brain power and energy into this. And then I lost in such a cruddy way, I think, on my part. Not that Christian like bent a rule or did something, but I felt so stupid. Like I could have easily prevented what happened, and I just wasn't watching close enough. And I think it's that like my brain power was just like dying.
Yeah, because like I think it also goes to show that like I had a Death Star that was like moving towards what I thought was your base, and that's a scary thing as a Rebel player, because all I have to do is just shoot the planet and blow it up. But then your goal is to also blow up the Death Star. So you're like, do I want to wait for it or go get it? You decided to try and go get it, but then in this
game, came in from the back way.
Yeah, you left open like a couple planets, and I just moved like 3 Star Destroyers to your base, and then that was it. Like the game was an anticlimactic ending to that game.
Yes.
But like to get there, it was very like back and forth.
Yes, I feel like I played really well up until that last round, and it was just a bummer. Like I was real salty.
That's very true.
Christian, so he knew, of course. So we put it away, and it's kind of like quiet around the table, like we're putting it away. We say, this is what we say. We say GG. Good game.
Good game.
And I forced myself to say it like this. Yep, GG.
Yep. I'm gonna go wash dishes.
So then I suddenly have a task to do that needs to be done because I don't want to be near him. And he tries to give me a hug, and I think I said, I don't need a hug.
Yeah.
I just need some space.
Yeah. Yep.
I was so mad, you guys.
Super mad.
So I don't know how to describe like just the level of, I don't know, disappointment.
I was going to say, was it disappointment or what?
Disappointment in myself, or just like Because you invest so much in this and you just want it to work out for the rebels, and they're such the underdog in this game, just in terms of number of supplies and resources. But that's my opinion because I lost very recently. But I'll say within 24 hours, I was ready to play it again.
That's good.
It wasn't like an abomination for you where you were just like, I'm going to need like about a week away from this game or more.
Yeah. Well, I didn't lose one turn. I lost in like 8 turns. 67,000 points.
Yes. And so Christian mentioned this, and it kind of goes into, is it worth it? It's an expensive game.
Yeah.
Because it's big and it has a lot of stuff and it's epic, and we play it once or twice a year. And for us, it's worth it just because it's such an experience.
Yeah, I think you can hopefully hear in that our excitement of retelling the game that we played, that it's super fun, and it's definitely worth it for us. If you are an avid board gamer and you like strategy games and Star Wars, and you don't have this game, this is definitely one for you.
Yeah.
You're not going to play it every night. You're not going to play it twice a month.
No.
Maybe you will. Maybe there's people out there that do that.
Absolutely.
But like Angela said, this is like a 1, 2, maybe 3 times a year game that we play, and we always have a good time doing it.
It's like breaking out the good bottle of wine. You just look at each other and you're like, is tonight the night we break out the good bottle of wine?
Yeah.
It's like, should we crack open Star Wars Rebellion?
Yeah.
You're not going to have the good bottle of wine every week.
No.
You're going to have the quick plays and the like easy to learn stuff, and this is just a departure from that for a good experience.
Yeah, it's very rich and rewarding.
Yes.
Yeah.
The 2 R's.
Yep. Well, that's definitely Star Wars Rebellion. We love that game. And it's that time again.
Okay.
For another trivia.
Well, I have no idea what it is, but now I'm prepared with the look you're giving me that I am going into trivia mode.
Yep, it is trivia mode, and so here is another quote from Star Wars. Are you ready?
As ready as I'll ever be.
Great kid, don't get cocky.
That sounds like Han.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I think it's actually great shot, kid, now don't get cocky, but I don't know. The internet could be wrong, but I'm probably
okay.
Right. Yeah, you know what I mean? And then here's one for you.
Okay.
When 900 years old you reach, look as good you will not.
That's Yoda.
Okay, good. There you go. So good job. You got 2. You're 3 for 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm 3 for 4, guys.
I did that in my head.
Look at that.
Let's jump to our final game, the newest game of the 3, Star Wars Outer Rim.
Okay, Outer Rim is competitive. Again, it's a board game for 2 to 4 players. Players are going to take on the roles of bounty hunters and smugglers, and you're going to work independently to earn victory points by completing missions and delivering smuggled goods. What else? Turning in bounties.
Yeah.
And other stuff. So that's the basic gist of Outer Rim. How easy is it to just break out, set up, and tear down?
I think it's a medium on our arbitrary scale of setup and tear down.
It's between the two we've talked about.
Yeah, I mean, Destiny is the easy side. You just get your cards. Rebellion is the extreme opposite.
Yes.
Where there's so many cards. This one is not in the middle of the two. It kind of leans more towards the easy side of a medium, if that makes any sense.
There's a board to assemble, so it's like puzzle pieces.
Yeah,
you're creating a rim.
Yeah, it's an interesting board, which is cool.
A literal semicircle.
Mm-hmm.
And there's like a player mat that's like your ship. It represents your ship, and so you have like a little marker that goes on it that you have to set up, and you have to get some decks ready.
That's the worst part about setting up this game is the amount of cards.
Yeah, but they're not miniature cards.
They're not miniature cards, which is awesome, but at the same time, which we've mentioned in a previous episode, is that there's no place on the board for it because the board is so unique. It's a rim. It's like a half circle, like Angela said, and then you just kind of put decks of cards randomly in this half circle.
Yes. So medium is a good way to describe it.
I think the hardest part about this game for us was the setup. You know what I mean? Like, I think learning to play is easier than it takes to set this up.
I don't remember struggling to learn how to play.
No.
But then again, we've learned it recently, so at that point we've had a lot of games under our belt.
True.
I don't know that this would be like a good game for someone who's not used to games.
No, I think it's easier than Rebellion, obviously, but
Well, yes, way.
if you're just looking for like a modern board game and a Star Wars experience, this is the one. Like it's easy to get going.
Yeah, there's not super specific gaming terms.
No.
So I think it's definitely accessible for everyone and probably very easily accessible for those who have played board games.
Yeah, once you
before.
learn the rules, once you learn the actions you can take, because there are specific actions that you take every turn.
Mm-hmm.
Once you got that down, there's really not much more to that. It's just waiting for those exceptions to the rules to pop up in the game that may throw you for a loop.
Yeah, or just like strategizing with who you are, like what character you are, and kind of the movements of the game. But yeah, not really hard to learn how to play, so that's nice.
Yes.
Immersive. It's not as immersive as Rebellion.
No, I don't think any game that we own is. But
That's true.
this, I think it's pretty immersive. I enjoy playing this game, and not is it fun or is it worth it? But I feel like the things that you're doing in this game are what those characters do in the Star Wars universe.
Yeah, I'd say it's more immersive than Star Wars Destiny.
Oh, for sure.
Because you're actually trying to find bounties or smuggling goods and bringing them around the rim to different planets.
Yeah, there's two categories of characters to be in this. You can be a smuggler or a bounty hunter, and they obviously have strength towards one or the other. So like Han Solo, he is really good at delivering cargo, smuggled goods, and Lando as well. And then there's bounty hunters like Boba Fett, and Bosk is one of them. And what they excel at is going around the Outer Rim and finding the bounties. Now, the cool thing about bounties is you have the option to kill them right on the spot. You could find them, and it's like, I'm Boba Fett, and my bounty is for Chewbacca. If I find Chewbacca, boom, I can kill him.
Yeah.
There's obviously combat that goes into that.
Yeah.
But I can decide right then and there, I'm shooting Chewbacca, and I get a certain amount of gold. Now, if I want to risk it, I can deliver Chewbacca to a specific planet and get a larger reward because he's delivered alive.
Yep.
Now, along the way, I guess the risk is that you might run into an Imperial fleet, or you might run into another player who also has a bounty for Chewbacca, or someone who wants to steal Chewbacca from you so that they can use them on their ship.
Yeah, because they can also be allies with you on your ship.
Right, and because we've only played the two players, that doesn't happen a lot.
Right.
Because we kind of just go do our thing.
Yeah, the board is big enough that two players don't have to encounter each other.
No.
If you were seeking each other out, I mean, you could play that style of play. But...
Yeah. And that would be an interesting way to play. Like, maybe I'll do that next time. But
And you lose, I mean, you can lose and gain loyalty with certain factions. Is that how you'd say it?
Yes.
So, you know, I might be cleared to pass through
Rebel space,
but I might not be clear to pass through an Imperial space. So I got to be careful where I'm going and how I do so. And so that's immersive, and all the characters and what they do is immersive. And I like that it's harder to capture certain characters.
Like Chewbacca, he's like one of the hardest
right?
ones. Yeah, Maz Kanata or whatever her name is.
And Hera is really hard to capture.
Oh yeah, because she's a pilot, so she can fly away. So that's really cool. One of my favorite things, and I think that adds to the immersivity.
Ooh,
is that a word?
I don't know.
It is now.
Yeah.
Done.
Stamp of approval.
Is the ship sheet?
Ooh, say that 5 times fast.
No, the ship sheet that Angela mentioned. So you have your character board, which has all your money and your upgrades. But then you also have a ship that you can attach onto it, and it has a certain cargo holds, weapons, modifications, and you can upgrade that through the game. So only one person will have the Millennium Falcon in this game if you happen to be at the store when it's available. And it might not be Han Solo. It might be Boba Fett, who just decided to purchase the Millennium Falcon, and he's got it, and it's got cool upgrades, and it's just a really cool mechanic that adds to that immersiveness.
Yeah. So I think it's pretty immersive.
Yeah, it's good. I think it's medium to high.
And it's a fun game.
Yeah.
It's like simple to just play, especially for us now that we've learned it and we've played it through a few times, so we're not like constantly thinking through the rules and strategy. And we have fun with it. It's not as softly competitive as Wingspan because we can interact, but we don't tend to play that style of play on this game, or we just haven't.
We haven't yet. It's been pretty straightforward. Like
we're working independently. Like
it's just a race to 10, right? Whoever gets 10 points.
And I'm doing my own thing, and we're just trying to get to 10 points the fastest, and that doesn't as much to lose, so it's fun, you know. It's just like, dang it, I didn't get to 10 as fast as you, or whatever. It's not like Christian killed me and so I lost 5 health.
Yeah. And at least in this game it's rare to like run away with a win. I don't think I could win by like 5 points. That would be super rare.
No,
it'd be mostly like 2 or 3 at the most in the games that we've had. Now again, the same problem. We've only played 2 players, so maybe when you jump it up to 4,
it's different. And you might be like literally running into each other on the board.
Yeah, like every other turn, for sure.
Yeah. So is it worth it for us? Yeah, we have a lot of fun playing it, and it's been a good buy for us.
Right now, this is my favorite of the 3. I really like this one.
Yeah,
Christian, I would love to play this. I would love to play this more, for sure. And what this game is screaming for is an expansion. Like they've
what?
Well, they've just left it open. There's so many characters, and I don't know if they would add just like non scum and villainy characters, but like obviously everyone's watching The Mandalorian, so he fits into this so good and so easily. Now the Boba Fett's already in it, so there's like 2 similar characters, but I feel like he would add a lot to this game, and I'm sure there's more characters that are escaping my mind now that
you'll think of later.
Yeah, that would really enhance this game and make it even more fun and more worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a cool thing to think about. All right, well, stay tuned for the next part. Well, this is the part where we usually talk about what did we learn about each other or our marriage. And I think all I want to say here this time is just that I think it's possible to live in a house where one partner is super into Star Wars. And I'm not anti-Star Wars, but I'm Star Wars neutral.
Star Wars neutral.
Is that okay to say? Like, yeah. I don't have strong feelings.
Yeah, you're a gray Jedi.
Okay, all right. As you can tell by my trivia knowledge, I am quite versed in the Star Wars universe.
I won't give you any more of those, don't worry, yeah.
Okay, well, I think that it's possible to have a partnership where one person is just heavy into something and the other person is along for the ride and can enjoy it and appreciate it, but I don't know every character. I don't know every trivia. I make thematic mistakes. And that's okay, and we can still enjoy that. I mean, would you say the same since you're the one that's the heavier into Star Wars?
Yeah, I appreciate that you are along for the ride and you don't scoff when I get excited about this stuff. I don't know how many trailers that I've made you watch for new movies that are coming out or this Mandalorian show, which you admittedly do like.
I do like Mandalorian, and here's why, because it's entertaining.
Yeah.
But I'm not sitting there like at the end of the last episode as we're recording this.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, let's speculate about who that is.
Who was the guy in the boots?
And I was like, I don't care. I'm just here for the next episode.
I had like 6 immediate responses.
Yeah, and that's fine, and I'm here to listen to them. But that is the child is the best part of that show.
Yeah,
for me.
That's definitely true. Yeah. So thanks for coming along this ride in a galaxy far, far away.
And I hope that gives you hope that you don't have to be a house divided on Star Wars.
Well, Rebellions are built on hope, Ange.
Okay.
And one other thing that we wanted to do as a part of this episode is talk about the games that we didn't talk about.
Maybe some honorable mentions.
Honorable mentions. There we go. Because there are so many games out that do carry the name of Star Wars. We've played most of them. Just wanted to mention them quickly here and just give initial thoughts on maybe why we don't play them and
or why we got rid of it.
Yeah,
in our collection.
Yeah, definitely. Because like I said, there are so many out there. One of them that we don't play is we are not into. Well, I know you would not be into the Star Wars RPGs, but I would love to do that sometime. I just don't have people who are also interested in doing that.
So Star Wars RPG stands for Star Wars role-playing game.
Yeah, so it's like D&D, but in the Star Wars universe.
Oh, wow.
So I could be a smuggler. You're basically playing like Outer Rim, but in a D&D style game.
Okay, and I'm not ready to deep dive into D&D.
No, I just think it'd be super fun to do. I've always wanted to try it. Mm-hmm. There's so many options out there. So if that's your jam, definitely check out them. There's 3 books.
Wow.
And each book has multiple more books tied to it. So
okay,
it's a good place to start and get lost. That's for sure.
What's another one?
Star Wars Imperial Assault.
Ah, yes, we used to have this.
Yeah,
one.
This is another big box game along the lines of Rebellion, where it's pretty epic. It's fairly cinematic. The downside about being cinematic in this game is that you're not playing those cinematic characters. You're not playing Luke, Han, and Leia. You're playing some characters that are created for this game in like a miniatures tactics game that just for some reason didn't work well with us.
Yeah, well, because it started out when we first bought it, it didn't have the app.
Oh, that's right.
Right?
Someone had to be the Empire and read this book that knew what was going to happen based on what the Rebel players did.
Oh, is that right? I totally forgot.
Yeah.
So, because the most recent time we played it has the similar mechanics of mansions.
Yeah,
right?
they did release an app.
Mm-hmm. Which pains me to say. By the way, I mentioned mansions. Boom.
Check mark.
So, because I like mansions, but this just didn't do it for me, and probably because I'm willing to go into the Star Wars world, but like, give me someone I know.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know random...
Like the Wookiee Garkon.
Well, now I know Garkon.
Remember him?
Yes, because I have played Garkon. But I'm like, if you're going to give me a Wookiee, give me Chewbacca.
You want to play Chewbacca.
Because I need to have some sort of hook into this game.
Yeah. There was maybe too much going on in this game for the time that we bought it, too. Like, we bought it pretty early in our game, career.
Yeah.
So maybe that was part of it too. But like, even looking back, I don't think we had played that much.
There was every time we were looking up rules.
Yeah.
Every time.
Yeah. It was kind of annoying in that way. Yeah. So
wasn't for us, but if it's for you, we'd love to hear your thoughts.
It definitely could be fun for you. Another one is Star Wars Armada.
I don't know this one.
Star Wars Armada, it's like the step brother of Star Wars X-Wing.
Okay.
So if you know anything about X-Wing, Armada is like a space battle at the grand scale. Not ship to ship fighting, but like...
Oh, I do know this game.
Like capital ship, like big ships, Star Destroyers to like the cruisers on the Rebel side. And then the ships go out and fight each other. So I've never played it, but it's out there and it's semi-popular. I'm always tempted because it's Star Wars, and I think it'd be fun. But
I think I've seen pictures of this game.
Yeah, the models are cool. They're pre-painted and they're bigger. So like a Star Destroyer is like 5 or 6 inches long. It's pretty cool.
Okay,
it's cool to see on the table. That's for sure.
It's like a toy to play with.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
and that's what it'd probably end up being.
Well, as long as you admit it to yourself.
Yeah, and then probably the most popular one on this list is Star Wars X-Wing, which I've played multiple times.
I've played as well.
Yeah, and for some reason I just can't get into it.
Yeah, I mean, it seemed a little herky-jerky to me.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but like it has everything that I should like about it.
Yeah.
It's got cool ships. There's really no board. You just kind of put your ships in formation and you try to kill the other team. But I don't know. I just can't do it.
I really didn't like this game. Really disliked it. It just felt so segmented and not immersive at all for me.
Right. Yeah, so give me a reason to play X-Wing if you're listening.
Or
like I would
not.
love
If you're going to give him a reason to play X-Wing, you better also give him your address.
So that I can play.
Because Christian needs to come play with you and not me.
Yeah, well, there you go. So, yeah, Star Wars X-Wing is super popular. It's more popular than Destiny and all the games we talked about here tonight. But and then there's the game that has left us. It's no longer in production.
Oh, it's no longer with us.
May it rest in peace. They actually, Fantasy Flight did have a Star Wars LCG. They had a good run, but I think they canceled it a couple years ago.
We played this one?
I think we did.
Okay.
Yeah, I bought a used copy.
Okay.
And we've played it a couple times.
Yeah.
I don't have it anymore because
I'm vaguely remembering this.
Yeah. It was fun. It wasn't like super Star Warsy. It just kind of had some weird mechanics. But yeah, they canceled it and they moved on to like Destiny, which is great. It's more popular. But the Star Wars LCG was definitely another Star Wars game. All right. That was an epic episode.
Epic Star Wars episode. We would have it no other way.
Yeah, that's right. So we want to wrap up like we always wrap up with some viewer emails. Like we have people are watching us. Listener emails. And we want to thank everybody who reaches out to our questions that we pose at the end of these episodes.
Yes, we love it.
Angela, what was the question we asked last episode? Can you just paraphrase that?
So last episode was kind of leading up to Thanksgiving. And so we asked people what they remember playing in their childhood, either, at a relative's house.
Yeah, or just around the holiday times.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we had 2 really good responses. We had Sean Duggar. He wrote in, and he said he loved playing Hero Quest with his dad as the GM, which I think is how he wrote it, right?
Yeah.
Like not he was the GM, but his dad was the GM.
Yeah.
Hero Quest is like one of those classic board games that everybody remembers playing and wants to play again. I honestly never played it. I don't know much about it. The only thing I know about it is that everybody loves it or loved it, if that makes sense.
In the past. Yeah. And he also mentioned Scotland Yard playing that game at his grandma's. And I tried to look, and I don't think it's in there. We have a picture on our website of my parents' game closet.
Yes.
But it's not in the picture, but they do own Scotland Yard, and it's probably like a copy from the 80s.
Yeah, or
late 70s.
Yeah, definitely. All those old games.
So there you go, Sean. I'm with you.
Yep. And we got another response from Brian Piana. I hope I'm saying that right. He used to play or plays Shoot the Moon.
So it's like he described it as kind of like a ball that you shot up.
Well, I looked it up, and it's like one of those. It's got the 2 like not wires, but like 2 metal sticks, and you try to like they're very straight, and there's a big metal ball, and you try to roll the ball down these wires without letting it drop onto the wooden piece. If you saw it, you would totally recognize.
Yes, no, I've played something very similar to this.
Never got it to the end because you have to like go back and forth quickly so the ball doesn't go down. And
gosh, that seems like a frustrating game. That would be one where I'd be like, oh, I can do it.
Yeah.
And then hours later, it's like, where's Angela?
Yep.
She's in the closet trying to play Shoot the Moon. And he also mentioned the classic Monopoly. Which, you know what, Brian? I think I am one of the only people that likes Monopoly. Like, I truly like it. Everyone goes, oh, Monopoly, it's a long one. And, I do like it. Maybe it's because no one will ever play it with me.
That's true. I mean, to be fair, I do have a copy of Star Wars Monopoly in the garage.
Well, there you go.
From 1996.
So we're going to have to cut this episode short and go play Star Wars Monopoly.
Yep.
No, he's laughing at me. And then we also just wanted to mention that Brian he also does a podcast.
Yeah, he's a fellow podcaster, and he's messaged us a couple times, I think.
Yeah.
Just kind of reaching out, saying that he enjoys the cast. Thank you, Brian. Yeah. He does, totally appropriate.
Yes, mention what he does.
A podcast about Star Wars Destiny.
Yes.
Yeah, it's called Jank It Up Fuzzball. He's a casual player, and it's just his journey through Destiny. So I've listened to a couple episodes. It's pretty fun. Just like me, just casual, just trying to just have fun playing this game. And so if you want something to listen to that is Destiny specific, there are a lot of ones out there that are very like competitive specific and meta, which gets really
like the deep meaning of the
like really get boring for me because I don't have all the cards and I'm not going to have all the cards.
Then Brian's podcast is for you.
Yeah.
And maybe, hopefully, some of you out there. So thanks for writing in, Sean and Brian. And please reach out to us with this new question we have for you.
What is our question this episode?
All right. Well, there's lots of Star Wars hype. There's The Mandalorian that came out.
Yeah.
There's the movie coming out in this week at the time we're recording this. And there's tons of Star Wars games out there that we've mentioned. Everything from like Star Wars Monopoly to
Trivial Pursuit
Risk. To huge games like
the ones
Rebellion.
We talked about. Yeah.
So we want to know, like, what are you loving or hating that's Star Wars right now? Like, what's got your attention either in a good way or a bad way?
Yeah.
With Star Wars, is it the show? Is it the movie? Is it a game? And tell us why you're loving it or hating it.
Yeah. For example, Star Wars is everywhere.
Yeah.
I saw an ad that had Star Wars styled Instapots.
Well, we need it.
Well,
I think.
yeah. Well, don't tell me that. It was It was not shaped like, but they had like BB-8 colors or R2D2 colors, or like brown, like Chewbacca. Like it's everywhere. Yeah. I think I saw Star Wars logo on like an orange, like a bag of cuties, and it had Star Wars on it. So I can see where that could get annoying. I love it. Whatever. I'll eat a Star Wars orange. So
tell us what you're loving or hating in the Star Wars realm, and then why? Well, can we answer it ourselves?
Yeah.
I'm really loving The Mandalorian.
Yeah,
it surprised me.
It's great. We are loving watching that show. Like Angela said, I like and I don't like how it's short. Like when I'm watching it, I wish it were longer because I don't want it to end. But then like looking back, it's like, oh, like it was great. Like he had a little adventure for 30-40 minutes and let's go to the next one. Mm-hmm. I am wondering what the overarching story is going to be with the child.
Yeah.
If they don't go anywhere with it by the end of this season, like I'll be a little disappointed.
Yeah, I want to know who the child is.
Yeah, so there is rumors. Can we talk about rumors?
I love talking about rumors.
Yeah.
You guys want to listen on our gossip?
I heard a rumor.
Yeah.
That's from a different show. But so they moved the release date of one of the episodes up. So normally it's Friday. So this week Star Wars comes out. Star Wars episode 9 or whatever number it is. I should know, but there's so many. Normally it's on a Friday, but they moved it up to Wednesday. So in 2 days, there's a new Mandalorian episode. 1 day before the release of the new movie. So everyone thinks that in this episode, they are setting up or dropping little Easter eggs or hints that may show up in Rise of Skywalker.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, that's intriguing.
Yeah, I love it.
Well, and then maybe we should also ask, are you more of like a Christian who's just like loves everything Star Wars and, will buy a cutie if it has a Star Wars on it,
That's right.
a Star Wars logo? Or are you more like me who's like, hey, Star Wars is fine. I've got nothing against Star Wars, but I
stay out of my cuties.
But I could, take it or leave it.
Yeah. Let us know that. Add that on to your answer to these questions.
That's a lot of questions. Can
Yeah.
you guys handle that? I'm going to trust you.
I think so. I think it'll be great.
Okay.
As always, thanks for listening. We love doing this. We love hearing from you.
Yes, and may the Force be with you.
May the Force be with you.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Married and Bored podcast. And guess what? We have a website. You can listen to podcast episodes and so much more at www.marriedandbored.com. You can also email us at hello@marriedandbored.com. at marriedandbored.com or follow us on Instagram at marriedandbored. Music in this episode is by Joseph McDade. See you next time.
Okay, Angie, I got one more quote for you. You ready for this one? Tell me who said this one.
Okay.
Oh, 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 oh.
That's Jabba.